Here's a second coding practice. Write a method called removeEvenLength. This method receives an array list of strings as parameter. It deletes all strings of even length from the list. Here are a few testing cases. For example, testing case number 1 is an array list with 4 strings, this, is, a, and the test. Since this, is, and the test all contains even number of characters, 4, 2, 4, only string a should remain by the end of the method. Different from the last practice, this method doesn't return anything. It just do the work and then finish. Given case number 2, string even and the if should be removed. Testing case number 4 is an empty array list. Its result should still be an empty array list. Now pause the video and try it on your own. Algorithm first and then code. Be sure to test your algorithm on those testing cases before proceeding. What do you have? Let's go through this together. Given the problem, we need to scan each element in the array list. We need to check whether an element string holds an even number of characters. If yes, we need to remove this string from the array list. Do we have any special cases? Empty array list? Actually, we don't need to handle it separately here, as an empty array list will directly skip the for loop and then finish. We just need to handle a null object. Can you convert this to Java code? Pause and try it. Here is a direct translation of the algorithm using forward scanning from index 0 up to size -1. For each loop doesn't work here since we're modifying the array list object. Unfortunately, forward scanning doesn't work, at least in the current version. Let's see why. Here's our testing case number 1. I'm marking the indexes. With forward scanning, I starts from 0 and string this is checked first. Since it has 4 characters, this will be removed. After the remove, string after this will shift automatically to close the hole. So now we have is at index 0, a at index 1, and test at index 2. Size will be 3 now. And the last valid index will be 2. Next, I will increment to 1 smaller than size 3, so string A will be checked. Wait a minute, what about string is? Because array list automatically shifts elements after remove, is skipped. That's not right. Let's still finish this run. A stays. Next, I increments to 2, smaller than size 3, so test is checked and removed. What we end up with is at index 0 and a at index 1, and the size now is 2, and the last valid index is 1. I increments to 3, which is not smaller than size 2, so the loop ends. What we see is the element right after a removed item is shifted to the index that's just scanned, hence will not be processed. When that shifted item is also an even string, that causes problem. The recommended way to remove is to go backward. starting from the last element down to the first element. Here is the corresponding code. To explain why it works, let's go through the same testing case again. This time, we start from last index 3, and the test is removed. After the removal, the first 3 strings remain and the size is 3. I decrement to 2 and the A is visited. I decrement to 1 and the is removed. We have this and the A left. And A has been shifted down to index 1. I down to 0 and this is removed. A is shifted down to index 0. I down to -1 and the loop ends. Why does backward remove work? Because the items that are shifted have already been scanned. There is no more skipping of unprocessed items. One additional comment. Be able to test your algorithm or code manually by yourself is an important skill for programmers. It shows a clear understanding of the logic of your algorithm and how a program works step by step. Learn to use the debugger of IDE will help you practice this skill. In case anyone wondered, remove can still be done by using a forward loop. But you need to back the index 1 step after each remove to get the item that's just shifted. I will leave it to you to verify how it works. Try it with the debugger.